Us with more. Fox News contributor, former White House press secretary Sarah Sanders, and Fox News contributor Katie Pavlich. Katie, the thing would be God, our creator of everything. That's the thing. He forgot about the thing.
You know, Sean, this reminds me of when Hillary Clinton had that medical situation when she collapsed on 9/11 in New York City. We were all supposed to just ignore it as if it wasn't some kind of big concern for the biggest job in the world. You know, Joe Biden has clearly made some misstatements on the campaign trail. Just 2 weeks ago on Fox News Sunday, he had a lengthy interview with Chris Wallace, and at the end of the interview called him Chuck, and then said that he doesn't understand how people do early mornings. So there are serious questions about his ability to keep up on the campaign trail. I think President Trump is probably pretty happy about this looking like it's going to be his eventual opponent, because President Trump has been campaigning for over a year now. He loves doing it. He has a lot of energy, and he's efficient when it comes to running the White House at the same time as being able to go out and campaign for re-election.
You know, Sarah, one thing I'll say, I may surprise people. Bolshevik Bernie, he doesn't seem like he just had a heart attack. And by the way, I don't even, with all the modern medicine, treatment, technology, stenting, bypass, everything in between, the guy, he's got a lot of Bolshevik energy in there. He does not seem to be struggling on the campaign trail, and he's a year older than quid pro quo.
It certainly has the energy, but not the ideas. But one of the things I feel like is lost, anybody that has been watching Joe Biden on the campaign trail or the debate stage knows he's a terrible candidate. But let's not forget that anybody who's also paying attention knows that his extremely liberal policy ideas would make him an even worse president. He's a bad candidate. He would be even worse as president of this country. He is supporting taxpayer-funded abortion, free health care for illegals, the Green New Deal, which would be disastrous for the American economy and American jobs. He is not a moderate that they're claiming to be. His policy positions are liberal, and he would be a terrible president for so many reasons, just like Bernie Sanders would be terrible. And I think the president, whether it's Bernie or Biden, he's in good shape going up against either one of these two guys.
Look at their position on, okay, health care, Katie, for illegal immigrants, open borders, their radical position on the Second Amendment. The radical position is on guns and, Green New Deal, less oil and gas, the lifeblood of our economy. For the first time in 75 years, we're energy independent. We'll go back on that. What, we're going to go back to bribing mullahs in Iran? We're going to go back to what, 13 million more Americans on food stamps, 8 million more in poverty and the lowest labor participation rates since the 70s. We're going to go back to that. He's got a record. And Burisma, by the way, Katie, is not going away either.
No, it certainly is not going away. That can of worms hasn't even been completely opened yet. Joe Biden has admitted that he wants to raise taxes. He wants to repeal the Trump tax cuts, which were good for the vast majority of Americans, especially in the middle class in this country. He's put Beto O'Rourke in charge, of gun control policy, which that means gun confiscation, which is completely unconstitutional. And if everybody believes in the Democratic Party that somehow Joe Biden is going to swing the party back to the middle from the left, they're completely against what the reality of the situation is in that party. Joe Biden is going to get eaten alive by the left wing of the party, the AOCs, the Ilhan Omars. Nancy Pelosi couldn't even handle keeping them together in the House, which led down this road of impeachment of President Trump, not to mention Joe Biden, who can't even stand up to these ideas and put forward his own platform when it comes to being out on the campaign trail in a real moderate way. His policies are very far left, and yet we're stuck with this talking point that he's somehow the normal one who everybody should be voting for.
And look at Sarah Sanders. You've been around President Trump. I've been around President Trump. You know, he's got the energy of like 10 40-year-olds.
He has more. I'm under 40, I'm proud to say, and Donald Trump had more energy than me every single day that I worked for him.
By the way, I have a story I can tell. To the point it's almost
embarrassing how many circles he ran around the rest of us.
He goes, I go home on this trip. I was talking to him. He was leaving Vietnam, and I just had an interview with him. Yeah, and everybody's going to be sleeping. I'm the only one that's going to stay up. He goes, they're all laid out in the Air Force One. True story. All right. Thank you both.